Welcome back to the final segment of Investing with Confidence, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. And yes, we do talk about investing on the show. We talk about how to make smarter investing decisions, whether you're in your income accounts or your wealth accounts, which would be 401ks, IRAs, whatever that retirement account may be, how to make smarter investing decisions in there, especially with the great volatility that we are seeing right now in the stock market. Great moves up, but also great moves down the past 5 weeks. We've seen a nice retracement or a comeback this last week or so. But you know what? It doesn't matter what the market does when you understand supply and demand, which is how the markets actually function, trading like the institutions. And we have investing classes right here in Bloomington, local physical classes to teach people those skills, those techniques and strategies to utilize these markets. Right here in Bloomington, next to the Mall of America, they're 2 hours. I want to invite you to this class for callers 1 through 10. Just call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410. We've been talking a lot about stocks in the past 3 sections here, and some of these stocks are actually pretty high stock prices. We talked about Alphabet at $3,000 per share, splitting later this year. Right. And until then, investors have to put up a lot of capital to buy stocks, which sometimes, some of the public just doesn't have that much money to do that. So I want you to kind of gradually get your way into here on these leveraged assets and how you can buy stock at a discount. It's the options market. Real quick, explain what the options market is and why our listeners might want to look into this market, but also we'll get into futures and Forex after that.
Yeah, well, the market for a lot of companies has become very frothy. And as you mentioned, a lot of people maybe don't have enough money to put into a full position with companies like Apple or Amazon.
Did you say frothy?
Google. I did say frothy.
You did.
That is an actual word. That's an actual word. But a lot of people have a lot of money, but still don't want to put a big position in the stock market. A lot of people, and those are retired people, for example. So how can you participate with smaller amounts of money, but still have the potential to take advantage of what these higher price stocks or assets are doing? You use things like options or you use leverage. Leverage is a way of maximizing the value of your investment dollars. I kind of like to look at it as like a company. If you started a business and you have employees, you want to get the maximum productivity out of each employee. If you had somebody, and I've used this example before, if you have someone that comes in and goes over in a corner and sleeps all day long, you're not going to get any productivity from that person.
Yeah,
that
person I had to wake Al up this morning.
Yeah, yeah. I was sleeping right next to you too.
Yeah, so. You heard.
You want to get productivity out of your investment dollars too. Your portfolio can provide greater benefits to you if you know how to use those portfolios properly, and that's using the right kinds of assets. Most people are familiar with just the stocks or stock market or mutual funds.
Yep.
And typically with those, you have a one-to-one leverage. If you have a cash account, then typically every dollar you invest controls $1 worth of something. Yep. If you want to set up a margin account and trade leverage, maybe that leverage goes from a 1-to-1 to 1 to 50 or 1 to 100 or 1 to 200. It's just having each dollar be more productive for you. And in the assets that we talk about, there are options, futures, and the foreign exchange market. And we talk about these in these classes. A lot of you listening may not know much about those. And why is that? If the institutions, if the big traders, the hedge funds, people like Warren Buffett, if they're using those assets, why aren't you? Why haven't you been exposed to them? Well, it's the way Wall Street does business. They are looking at their bottom line. How do they achieve that the most efficient way? And it's not using those short-term assets for their clients because it's too much work. So their business model is to put you in something that is long-term, that buy and hold strategy that you're supposed to hold on to for decades. Why is that maybe not the best way to work? Well, first of all, it has you holding through corrections and bear markets. But think about this. If you go back to 1999, around 2000, the top 10 stocks in the S&P and the Dow compared to the top 10 stocks today, there's only one stock that was in the top 10 back in 1999 that's still in the S&P, in the Dow, and that's Microsoft.
Wow, yeah.
Every other stock, the other 9 stocks are new. So if you bought and put a portfolio together back in the 90s and you're holding on to it, you no longer are holding the top stocks in the market. So that's what we think will help you, is to be able to identify what the top stocks are, what stocks are performing, what assets are performing, and have the knowledge, the education to know how to use those assets, but do that with proper risk management and do it with the guidance of people that are experienced, that know how those markets function.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. But coming up next, I want to talk a little bit about 401ks and IRAs and what
Sure.
people are being put into. But we have a lot of listeners that need some help in the industry using, I guess, being more capital efficient. I think I talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago. There was an article about 70% of people, I believe it was, that are not in the market feel it's because they don't have enough money. Well, utilize the proper leverage. A lot of people don't have enough money to buy a home for cash. Well, of course not.
Sure.
Most people don't. What do? Use a mortgage, which is leverage. So you use leverage in your everyday life. Learn the skills and techniques to use that in your trading and investing accounts to be more capital efficient and getting the most bang out of your buck. So if you want to learn more about that, Al teaches investing classes right here in Bloomington. For callers 1 through 10, I'm going to give away 20 tickets here. You're going to receive 2 tickets and also a financial quick start kit that has some free stock picks in. We've been talking a lot about different stocks here today. Call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410, or text the word invest to the number 484848. You receive a call right back. If you do that, you're going to get a text back and with a link. If you beat us to that, make sure to pick a date. You're going to receive that financial quick start kit just for getting set up. So with 401ks and IRAs, Al, a lot of our listeners probably have one of those. It's a retirement account. And you mentioned something very important I want to make sure our listeners realize is having the right guidance making your investment decisions. And here at Online Trading Academy, which we have training and education to train people how to make smarter investing decisions, but then you do have that guidance. You have that guidance from people that have been in the market for several years and making smart investing decisions within those retirement accounts. So I know we're getting close to the end of the show here. How do you help people, I guess, get started with making smarter decisions in their IRAs, so they're not being taken advantage of with all these mutual fund fees that are out there?
Yeah, and it starts with maybe coming into one of these classes so we can talk a little bit about what the disadvantages are in a 401k or a 403b, how you can better manage what you have there, but also how you can do something in addition to or outside of a 401k. You talk about IRAs, self-directed IRAs. A lot of our students do that, and do that in addition to having a 401k, because there's a lot of restrictions within those employer-sponsored retirement plans that really can have a negative impact on what you end up with over the course of time. So as soon as possible, we want our students to know how to take more control of what they have, maybe do something a little different, something outside of those 401ks, a self-directed IRA, for example, where you have access to significantly more assets, more strategies that you can use. In a 401k, really the bottom line is that the only way you are going to benefit is if the market goes up. If the market goes down or the market goes sideways, you're going to lose money in a 401k.
Yeah.
In a self-directed IRA, there are ways you can protect your assets, but more importantly, you can participate in the market potentially beneficially when it's going down or when it's going sideways. And the number one thing that you eliminate are fees. Fees are, it's like somebody drilling a hole in the bottom of your wealth bucket and just sucking money out on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Fees, even what you might consider a small fee, around 2% over the course of your lifetime, could take maybe 50 to 75% of what you could have in retirement away from you. You don't want to have that happen.
Yeah, I was actually, that's funny you say that, because I was having a conversation with a good friend this past week, and they were talking about they were in these funds, these bond funds, and they had a front end load fee of about 4.5%. That's just to put your money, basically to buy the fund.
Yep.
Where that doesn't make any sense to me, and they're being charged all these fees. It had negative performance. I mean, you look at bonds right now; bonds aren't yielding anything.
Right.
So it's like these brokers and advisors, nothing against the people, it's the industry. They're putting in people that really, in my opinion, is taking advantage of the public because the public just doesn't know. If you're listening right now and you don't know what's in your 401k, you don't know what's in your IRA, well, start knowing now because that could be, as Al was talking about, thousands of dollars over the course of your lifetime disappearing just because of that simple F word, fees. So if you want to learn more about that, learn more about the fees, IRAs, 401ks, how to make smart investing decisions within those, maybe just ways to eliminate or lower fees. Call 952-814-4410 for 2 tickets for an investing class right here in Bloomington. They're only 2 hours. They're free. You also receive a financial quick start kit just for getting set up. You can also text the word invest to the number 484848. Al, we have some great times here. We talk about different wisdom. Today, I want to hear the OTA tip of the week.
Okay. Well, people say that knowledge and wisdom comes from learning from your mistakes, but true wisdom is achieved when you can learn from the mistakes of others. Any mistake you can make has already been made by someone before. So if you try to achieve wisdom through experience on your own, it's like taking an exam before you read the book or even take a course. That's the hard way. It's the wrong way to do this. Remember, learning the wrong way doesn't constitute wisdom. One of the most valuable components of OTA is access to people that can help eliminate going through the mistake process and help you benefit from their experience and their expertise.
It's like that old saying, I forget who said it, but it was, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Learn the skills and techniques now to make better investing decisions. 952-814-4410 for 2 tickets for the investing class, or text the word invest to the number 484848. Same time, same place next week. Until then, retire young.